So, Mews, welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
It's such a great honor. Thank you for taking the time today. I think you're a national treasure in acting. Really.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. I'm still sticking around.
Okay, so going back in time, when did you get bitten by the acting bug?
Well, when I got a job. I went to New York. This is sort of an amusing story. When I was 17, and I spent 3 months at the Martha Washington Hotel and ate peanut butter sandwiches and walked the city every day.
Right.
And the last night I was in the city, my brother's friend who lived there and worked at New York Hospital invited me over for dinner. And so I went, and Dustin Hoffman was sleeping on his couch and working as an orderly at New York Hospital. And so we had dinner, and then he had this little Vespa. And I told him I hadn't gone out at night. I had just walked the city every day for 3 months. And I don't know why, to tell you why I did that, except that that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to get a feel of the ground. I had no idea what I was going to do later at all. I was only 17. Anyway, so Dusty asked me if I wanted to go ride on his Vespa after supper.
Mm-hmm.
So we left, and we went from over to where New York Hospital is, around 71st and York or something there, and all the way down to the Bowery, and then all the way up to Harlem. We stayed out all night, and it was the greatest thrill because I hadn't taken any buses or cabs. I had just walked for 3 months, and to be on that little thing and to go, it was so much fun. Then we got back practically when the sun was up, got our bathing suits, went to Coney Island, and the Vespa broke down. But that was the beginning of my friendship with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back and I finished high school and I went to college for a little short bit of time. And then I decided I would just move to New York. And I got a one-way ticket. I let my parents know the night before. I was moving, and I had already had a place to stay for a month. And anyway, I stayed. I became friends with Dustin, and he was doing. I called him when I was there, and he said, "Well, I know these gals that live over on West 84th Street, and they have an apartment. It's only $35 a month because there's 4 bunk beds and 1 bedroom and a living room and a kitchen and a bathroom, and that's it."
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, "Good, great, done deal." And they were all in show business. And then he said he was doing a play. And I went, play, that's a terrible idea. I don't know about that. Anyway, he talked me into it. He took me to Central Park. He walked me and always said that. He said it would be a part just like me. I would just play just a girl back home. And it was an incredible play by Gertrude Stein.
Mm-hmm.
And the other part of the play is just 4 guys. They're in a bar, and you find out at the end of it the fellow's in a wheelchair. Anyway, and you have this vision of his girl back home, and it was a very beautiful experience. And he was teaching an acting class at that time. He only had 5 students. So the play was good. The big director, Ula Grossberg, came to see it. It was really quite wonderful. And it was fascinating. I really hadn't done any acting. I'd done a little singing, but not acting.
Mm-hmm.
And his class was very interesting. You know, I sort of learned the difference early on about, Well, we did a little exercise, and Ken Kercheval came in one night, and he was a well-established actor and knew exactly what he was doing. And Dusty said, well, who'd like to do an improvisation with him? And I was jumping to, I thought, I just should just jump up in and find out, you know?
Yeah.
So I did the improvisation, and the first part of the improvisation was so uncomfortable because I was doing everything. I thought, this is what you're supposed to do, and I got so tired of that, I just sat down and I was looking at him and listening to him and just responding to him. And then Dusty asked me about the exercise afterwards, and he said, well, what did it feel like to you, and what did you think? And I said, well, if acting is like the first part, I won't be going into it. If it's like the second part where I can just respond, then that might be in a profession for me. Something to that effect. Mm-hmm. And he said, it's the second part, that you respond. You listen, be there, and respond. And I said, I can do that. That I can do. So that was the beginning of my acting career, and that's the only thing we did. You know, we were friends for many, many years.
Yeah.
The only work we did together.
Wow, that's amazing.
But I got started, and then, you know, I worked in residence theater for 9 years, and then I finally got a Broadway show. I got Grease, and that was it was a big hit, and life-changing, and Marvin Hamlish came backstage one night. He said, they should come out to Hollywood, and, you know, anyway, I said, well, my family all lived out in California, and when I get a vacation, and after doing the show, Broadway show for a year, because of union contract, you know, you get a week's vacation, paid vacation. So I came out here, and I called him up, and said I was coming. He says, great, I'll call me when you get here. So anyway, I met him. He took me to see Woody Allen. Mm-hmm. I was quite sure Woody Allen was going to throw my picture right in the wastepaper basket. But Marvin brought me in, and Woody said, I don't have any parts left for women in the picture. There's just, I don't have any. Only part left is Dr. Nero, and that's going to be a man. Anyway, he changed his mind and cast me in the part of Dr. Nero. So, and then there's a long story after that of all the ups and downs, and you can read about it in my memoir. That was my beginning, and you know, it was a great beginning because once I did come, you know, Marvin introduced me he introduced me to a lot of people in Hollywood, and I was able to get a very good agent agent of performing artists, very good agent here. And I even brought my band out when I first came out for a week, and we were trying to get a recording contract. Well, I didn't get the recording contract, but I did get a first-class agent for acting. And the producers of Grease were really nice. The gal who had been doing it on the road for a year, the part of Frenchie,
yeah,
she was dying to go back and do it on Broadway. That's where she was from, and I was wanting to be in California, so she said, why don't I open in California, I'll get the reviews, and then we can quit. And the producers of Grease were Ken Weiss and Maxine Fox. They were just fantastic. They said, fine. So I played the show 3 months at the Schubert Theater in Los Angeles, and I had a manager at that time, so I met tons of people. I was in a Broadway show. They could come and see me. I brought my band out. I played at the Starwood one night, and I got a fantastic review in the Hollywood Reporter. I mean, I had a fabulous beginning. And then I kept working for a long time. I just had one job after another, and it was, you know, a swell life.
Yeah.
And I got a little older, and I got a few less jobs, but yeah. I'm still working, and an up person, and anyway, I have an interesting life, and I'm writing about it. I'm writing this memoir, and people get a kick out of the stories. I don't think it'll be, well, there are no normal Hollywood books, but
Yeah.
it'll be different.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, when you were in that production of Grease, who else was in the cast with you?
Well, I'll tell you, the audition for that was incredible. You could see, because we went through like 7 days of auditions. We had a lot of auditions.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody did this, and everybody went. And Barry Bostwick, when he auditioned, we were all watching him, and I thought, he's going to get this part. Well, he got the part. Same with Adrienne Barbeau. She sang, she danced, she got the part. And then Katie Hanley was just incredible actress who did not continue on with this. She did the reunion with us.
Mm-hmm.
A hell of a singer and a terrific actress. She did the movie Xanadu, and she was in Godspell.
Yeah.
But she lived a nice life in Chicago and somewhere around there, and plays golf and has a family and didn't go crazy in show business. Has a nice husband, that can make a difference. But
Yeah. Did you work with Barry Pearl?
I worked with Barry out here, and I know Barry very well. He's wonderful.
Yeah, I've interviewed him.
Kathy Moss was in that. She was the original Katja. She was incredible, and she passed away a few years ago. And Tim Myers was the original Kaneki.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great, great actor. And Jim Borelli was the original Sonny.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he's...
Mary Lou Henner?
Mary Lou was in she was in the Chicago company, and then she came to Broadway. She first did she did the national tour before she came to Broadway.
Yeah.
Mary Lou, she's great.
Yeah, God, that was...
Travolta, I played opposite Johnny Travolta the whole time we played the Schubert out here.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was part of the national company then. And,
Yeah, that was a magical time for Broadway. It's so many great people who went on to become hugely successful. It's amazing.
Yes.
In historical context, yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, and all the people that weren't in the original cast, but in the cast after, I mean, Jeff Conaway.
Yeah.
And Randy Heller and all. There's just hundreds of them that have incredible careers. And we all thought it was a turkey when we were... we actually had a point one night. We were just about... They lost their money. They lost their investors, and they came backstage one night at one of the... we were in the rehearsals,
Mm-hmm.
and we were just about to start our previews and open, and they asked anybody if they wanted to invest. Nobody had any... I think Barry Bostwick invested. I think he had $500, but nobody else had a cent.
Yeah.
Too bad, because we would have all been doing very well today.
Yeah. Did you...
We had some wonderful producers, two great writers, Jim Jacobs and Warren Casey. I mean, just the best. And a wonderful director, Tom Moore. And great producers. It just came together,
Yeah.
I had never thought I would be in a hit show about the 50s. It was the least favorite part of my life, but it turned out to be very good in another way.
Did you want to be in the movie?
I did audition for the movie, and at the same time I auditioned for Thank God It's Friday.
Yeah.
I got Thank God It's Friday, but I didn't get the Grease movie.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they thought I was too old or something, or I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, a couple of the guys in the movie were a little bit older.
Well, Barry didn't get the movie either, and nor did Adrienne, nor did Jeff Conaway got the movie, but he was not in the original company.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody, wait a minute, somebody...
Well, Barry was in the movie.
Barry?
Yeah, Barry Pearl. He was in the movie.
Oh, Barry Pearl, but not Barry Bostwick.
No, not Barry Bostwick.
No, Jeff Conaway and Travolta.
Mm-hmm.
They were from the National Company.
Yep.
Anyway, that's just show business talk.
Yeah.
This, I suppose, is interesting in show business talk.
When you were working with Woody Allen on Sleeper, was he back then? He wasn't not communicating with actors like he's got that reputation for.
Not communicating with actors.
Yeah, he just lets them do what they do and just says action, cut, all that.
That's right. Short and to the point.
Yeah.
He scared me. That was really my first movie, and I had done a movie way back. I asked. Anyway, first, I was really nervous. We shot that part in Colorado. That first scene. I think the first scene was this orgasm machine.
Yeah.
And anyway, I just had gum surgery and I was kind of fragile. And we had a rehearsal, and I made a mistake in one of the lines. He says, "Just go learn your lines and we'll take it again." I said, "I know my lines. I just never saw. Just let me do it again." Anyway, I did it again. That was it. Shot had moved on, and he never said anything else to me. But it was a big deal, and I was scared. And whatever.
Yeah.
I was too young to forget my lines then, so anyway.
Yeah. Can you believe it's been 45 years since One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Really been 45 years. Amazing.
Yeah. That's like my earliest memory of you playing Candy in that. How did that role come to you?
I auditioned along with 900 other girls.
Mm-hmm.
And
were you familiar with the book and the play?
oh, definitely. I had seen the play in New York earlier, and of course, the moment I got the movie, we all read the book. We really worked from the book.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Yeah, that was amazing. I auditioned for him a year, and a year later, I heard from him.
Wow.
And I had my band out here. He came to the rehearsal for the band. I was rehearsing for the Starwood Club, and at studio instrumentals, whatever it was, and I had my whole band, and he came in and hung out while we rehearsed. Yeah, it was amazing. Mews was just a sublime director to work with.
Yeah.
He didn't really give you any, kind of let you do what you want, and didn't get on you or anything. And one day, it was a little slow one day, and I said, just pick it up, and that was all. But that was the only thing he ever said, and it would only happen once. And he was just salt of the earth, a great gift to be able to work with him, and everybody in that cast and crew was just amazing. And of course, to shoot it in a mental hospital, fully functioning, is thank God now closed, that practice these things, and having all the doctors in the movie are the real doctors. This is Michael Douglas's brilliance to get the, and he and Zell Zantz who just couldn't get better producers than that. Dahl had made a lot of money from Clarence Clearwater, I believe.
Oh yeah, he produced all their albums. Yeah.
I think that was the good part of how he financed the film, because they didn't take outside money. Anyway, No, was I?
You were talking about the financing of the movie, and then you were talking about how you got the part. And so you started work on the film. Is that where you were going?
No, I forgot where I was going. Oh, well.
Well,
when I listened to the interview, I'll go, oh, I know where I was going there. Anyway, it was a terrific, and we did have some amazing luck on that because they were running out of money, and we only had 4 days left to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And so they let a lot of we finished everything in the hospital, but we still had to do the boat stuff.
Yeah.
And so that was a big deal because they have their own like little hurricane season up on the Oregon coast where we shot it.
Mm-hmm.
And the weather cleared up for exactly 4 days. And our poor cinematographer, we switched from, well, first Haskell Wexler, which I wasn't there for, and then Bill Butler, and gave the film a lighter look, and then when the girls come in, and then the William Franker for the boat, and poor William got seasick. He was, I felt for him. That was hard, very hard.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I didn't get seasick, and most of us did, but Christopher
Lloyd?
Yes, he would be reading Shakespeare's sonnets on the boat, reading Shakespeare.
Yeah.
No, he's a beyond brilliant actor. I mean, just the cast, every one of them were. And that's Milos' casting, too, and just, I guess maybe it was a film that wanted to get made. There was a very sweet feeling on the set, a couple of little spats, but and the mental patients. We had 150 people that were patients, had been there for years, and were on the payroll and worked in some as actors and some like in different the property department. I helped with doing wrappers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it was in, of course, up in the shock treatment. Those are all real patients.
Right.
Never be able to do anything like this today. The fact that they were able to make this film was a darn miracle, Like, you couldn't do it today, insurance things. But those faces of those people you look on the shock treatment ward, there's some mighty deep souls there. And it was, it's a weighty place. And I'll tell you who helped loosen it up was Elisa, who played Rose,
Mm-hmm.
which is recently, not too long ago, passed away.
Yeah.
And she had a little ukulele guitar, and she sang and she played, I'm not positive, but I think she was originally from Cuba. And she had all these beautiful songs that she sang. It was very, she just added a quality, because there wasn't, we were shot it in the mental hospital, so we're at this waiting place. And then there's this little tiny makeup room. We makeshift, we made the makeup room. We have a little corner there. And this beautiful music, just kind of soft and lovely, would float through the institution. It was beautiful. And then the other 2 days that were just the day that Nurse Ratchet gets choked by Billy. That was an 11-hour shoot, and I don't know how he ever got through that shoot. He had a terrible cold at the time, and it was just one shot. And everybody who was able to get out from the institution, they were all there to see that scene. Just like they were all there to see the scene when Will Sampson throws the giant water drum through the huge window.
Yeah.
Most thrilling scene, and the great music from Jet Mitzi. It was just, and there's the Saw, that opening and the Saw. You hear the Saw?
Yeah.
It's been a long time looking for the right Saw player to do that. I mean, it was just an incredible experience, you know. And Saul Vance, what an incredible human being. And I've become nice friends with Louise Fletcher. We just adore each other, and we do a lot of autograph shows together.
Yeah.
So she's very fun.
Yeah.
So that's enough of that.
I hope I get to meet her someday. But yeah, Brad Dourif, I think he was robbed for the Academy Award that year. I mean, I love George Burns, but he was George Burns in that movie. This is an actual character Brad Dourif was playing. You know, he was so transcendent.
It was his first film, too, introducing Brad Dourif.
Yeah.
Great actor, and a great human being. Just love him. Easy to love. He was easy to love.
Yeah.
They all were. That was a great experience.
You have any good stories about working with Henry Fonda and the Great Smoky Roadblock?
Oh, I love Henry Fonda and his wife Shirley.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I spent all my time with them. They were just glorious. He was, I had a little piece of property and he wanted to give me he raised apple trees. He wanted to give me some apple trees.
Mm-hmm.
And I never had enough money to put a water system in. I was so disappointed because I could have had apple trees from Henry Fonda. My mother loved Henry Fonda. I took her to see that he was here doing the play 6 days, the first 6 days at Supreme Court judges.
Yeah.
Excellent play. Yes, they should review that play.
Yeah.
Especially these days with the Supreme Court. Anyway, next subject.
How about working with Gene Wilder on The World's Greatest Lover?
Oh, heaven. He was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Really, 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 really. Just, I wish I had. He was so much fun that he did all the rehearsing with me. And then the other actor, oh my God, I forgot the name of the actor who I did have the scene with. Very nice guy, but I got to do most of the rehearsing with Gene Wilder. And, I practically fell in love with him. He's just, and the whole movie was just, I mean, I didn't have very long on the movie, but it was enough to, it was a lovely, lovely experience. Lovely.
I think it's his most underrated comedy. I like it a lot. I've interviewed Candice Zara, who was in the movie too.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah.
Always great.
Lovely lady. I love her. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about Fade to Black?
Fade to Black, Vernon Zimmerman is a good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And something went very wrong there because he never made any. They somehow stole that. He's never made a dime off of that movie. And I have a little story about it in my book.
Mm-hmm.
And I just loved him. And it was the scene that I shot was the tarot reader on the pier in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
But by the time they ended up making the movie and finished, putting it all together, my scene didn't make any sense anymore. So it went on the cutting room floor. I just get mad at her and say, hey, I don't even get any residuals for you. I hit the cutting room floor in Xanadu, but I still get residuals from that one. Anyway, I'm still good friends with him to this day, and we actually did I don't know what I'll ever do with that. We did a little, sort of a pilot, kind of. I had this idea to do a series about this couple living in a warehouse, a loft, a studio, and that's where I lived in one for 17 years in up until 1996.
Mm-hmm.
From 1980, it was very cold and dusty, and 30-foot ceilings and space. And I'm a painter too. I did a lot of painting there. It was great, and it was great because I had a band. I could have a band could come; they wouldn't bother anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't supposed to live there, so I had to hide half the time, hide in my bed, not sleep there sometimes. I lived there for 17 years, and so we made this little short that all of a sudden the landlord, they sold the building, I had to go, and I said, Bird, come over, bring your camera, we have to document this place, and we'll just make up a story, we'll just make something up. And so we did make a tiny short little film. We just kind of pretty much straight shot, about 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Well, maybe at some point I put that out, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was thinking of showing it here one day with my girlfriend's film. She lived on a barge in New York on the Hudson River for 10 years, and that was always something I wanted to do. But after hearing her experiences about living on the barge, I think maybe it's not such a good idea. Anyway, interesting.
How about Ralph Bakši's American Pop?
Oh, can't say enough good things about Ralph Bakshi. Can't say a good thing. Enough good things. He loved me, and I loved him. He told me I should be a director, and that I had good ideas, and which I haven't pursued. But I just, we shot that whole thing as a black and white movie, which would be fun to see the actual black and white copies because all they did was, copy. They just did whatever we did. That's what their drawings were.
Mm-hmm.
You probably knew that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. Anyway, it was fun. I enjoyed him immensely.
I was terrified by this movie you did not too long after that called Zapped. That scene with the exorcism and the ventriloquist dummy scared me when I was a kid.
Oh, you're the first. Well, you must have been really little then.
Yeah, I was like 5 maybe.
Oh, yeah. I just hear from the 14-year-old boys who all love that movie, including my nephew.
Oh, I do love it.
That's a good movie. We like that one.
I do love it, but at 5, that scared me.
Oh, yeah, I can see how it would scare you, yeah.
How was Scott?
That was fun.
Yeah, how was Scott Baio to work with?
He's great. He's great. I just saw him recently. We're both skiers, and I figured this out because we did one of the Hollywood collector shows.
Yeah.
And so we had fun talking afterwards. He mentioned something about skiing, and then I told him I had been a ski racer when I was 15, 16, 14 years old.
Yeah. Scatman Crothers.
He's a good guy. We don't agree politically, but that's okay. We like each other personally.
Oh, that's good.
He's kind of fun to get into it with, though.
Scatman Crothers was in this one too.
What?
God, Scatman Crothers.
Oh, okay, just great. I have nothing but good things to say about him. Miss him.
Yeah.
Trying to think if I did another picture with him. I did.
Cuckoo's Nest and Zapped.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
He was brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
And then how about making Charlie Band's Puppet Master?
A horrible movie, is that? Oh, scared me. Well, it's too bad I got killed off so early. Didn't they do like 7 of them or something? I could have had a much better pension.
They did a lot of them, yeah. And they did a remake recently.
Oh, well, they should bring me back to life. I'd have to be older now. It was fun. Actually shot over some at Pasadena so I could visit my parents afterwards. Yeah, it was fun. We shot those whorehouse scenes over there too. That I don't think Henry Fonda really thought those should be in the movie. I'm not sure. What for the Henry Fonda movie?
Yeah.
No, they had the part. I guess part of the maybe the distribution. Oh, I haven't really thanked Susan Sarandon for that movie because she put that all together. And not only that, she hired me just like that. I didn't have to even audition. I mean, she is a terrific person, and I think a lot of her.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a really wonderful experience, and I learned quite a lot on that. So
Nice.
anyway, I always have to tip my hat to her.
So, in addition to acting, you've also been involved in politics. When did that start for you?
I think about 4 years old when I discovered that there were wars and what happened and people died and got injured. And so I think it started way, way, way back. Yes, I'm pretty political.
Yeah, I was
I've run for office twice and don't intend to run again, but it was a great experience, It's probably the hardest thing I ever did the first time I ran because there were lots of debates. I think it's a good way if you want to lose weight. I lost 20 pounds. I was like, oh my God, I got to answer questions and I'm an actor and and I haven't even been to college. And, oh my God, and then of course Sarah Palin ran later and oh my God, I am way better than that. Anyway. Anyway, I worked very hard at it. I got in the habit of getting a 6-hour news forecast in the morning from independent sources and not just no commercials, just actually getting news and being up on things, and it's a habit I still have in the way of the rest of my life, but I like it. It's important to know it, especially these days. It's important to know what's going on.
Yeah, I like the fact that you were involved in programs for like rehab and aid for battered women and public recycling. I mean, that's great stuff to be involved in.
Oh, absolutely. We definitely have to turn the world around while we still can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you get such a unique name like Mews?
Well, I made it up myself. My father, my birth name was Mary Edith Willard Small. I have both of my grandmother on my mother's side, Edith, and my father and his father were named Willard. So he put the Willard in there so my initials wouldn't be missed. He didn't want my initials to be missed. And so I had that name for a long time, and then I went to New York, and I started singing at various places, and this lady called me up at acting jobs and everything. She called me up on the phone. She said, "You're using my name. I am the little Mary Small with the big voice, and I have a radio show, and I'm in the union, and you can't use my name." I went, "Oh, well, okay." And she was quite a famous gal. So there went Mary Small right down the drain. I liked that name, but that was... And then some of my New York friends had told me about this lady who was a numerologist, and she was 90 years old, and she lived at the top of Carnegie Hall, and she said she would find a new name for you. So I went to her, and she was a fascinating lady. She seemed to know all kinds of things about me. She must have been quite intuitive. Anyway, so we figured out we would named me Maria. So it would be Maria, just have an A on it. So I had that name for quite a while, and then that was a pretty good name. Although lots of people would call me Maria, which I didn't like, because my father, when I was bad when I was growing up, he'd call Mariah. You know, but I didn't like that sound. I liked Mariah, actually, but
Yeah.
get my father's attention by doing something naughty, and then I get his attention. But anyway, later on in life, I was like, I was, not early in my career. I started. My parents got sick, and I started after Cuckoo's Nest. I learned to meditate right before Cuckoo. As soon as I had that movie. My girlfriend, who I had done Grease with on Broadway, she said, well, maybe it would be good to learn to meditate,
Right.
And I went, meditating, okay. But then I realized I'm going to a mental institution. I'm going to be there for a month, 5 weeks. And I thought, okay, so I learned to meditate. And Brad Dourif meditated, and also Maharishi had initiated Michael Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, my friend initiated Danny and Rhea.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I was, it has been very beneficial for me. Very, very, very beneficial. So I thought, and then I started to learn different healing things. And when my parents got sick, I spent a lot of time in hospitals and whatever. So
Yeah.
I learned techniques of things that would be useful to me and maybe to them. Why did I get into this?
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. We were
For some reason, anyway.
We were just talking about your name.
Oh, my name. So I got into one day, one of the healers that I worked with, she said, maybe you have more luck if you change your name. And so I went to another lady who was a numerologist. And we were looking at names, and they couldn't find anything. And I looked at one of my paintings on the wall, and I signed my paintings MEWS. And I said, well, what about Mews? And she said, well, let's see. And then she did all her numbers, and she said, well, that's good. You'll get a lot more support. And I didn't think anything of it, except I had a little spark of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, okay, I'll try it. Why not? And I'm not changing my name again, but that's how I changed it. And I don't know whether it helped or not, but I did seem to get some more support for my band and stuff I was doing, and so maybe it helped.
Mm-hmm.
Most people get a kick out of it. And I don't have to correct them how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
So, and even if they go, oh, that's a silly name, I think Milos thought it was a silly name. But and anyway, it doesn't matter. If people get a kick out of it, it's sort of worth it. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. Do you have any upcoming projects?
Well, I don't know. I auditioned for 2 things last week. One was a pilot and one was a movie, so I suppose they'll be letting me know if I get anything, and if I do, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I pretty much forget it when I walk out the door. I audition, I do my best, and then I walk out the door and I forget it.
Mm-hmm.
Go boogie boarding or home to my garden or, I don't think about it. I let go.
I admire that. You still go boogie boarding.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Wow, that's amazing.
Definitely. Want to spend a couple hours laughing? Go boogie boarding. Every time you catch a wave, you laugh all the way in. At least that's my experience.
Yeah.
Where do you live? San Mateo or someplace?
I'm born and raised in San Mateo. I live in Redding, California right now.
And the water's colder up there.
It's colder, yeah. When the winter is cold here, it's cold. And when the summer is out, it is hot over here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mom used to swim in the glacier lakes.
Mm-hmm.
Naked.
Really? amazing.
Well, we probably should finish up, but you've been a lot of fun, and I'm sort of curious to hear what happens to this. If
thank you so much.
Anybody listens to it and what they think or whatever. I'm pretty terrible. I'm completely useless on LinkedIn, whatever you call it. I'm not very good on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So I do a live show 2-3 times a month, and I'm accessible, but I'm not too good in the social media stuff. Other than I post my show every week and political things, which people say I shouldn't do. But
I'd like to see those shows. I'll connect with you on Facebook, and I can see the shows you do.
You can see them?
Yeah, to see them.
See that I'm doing them. You can't actually see them.
Well, I mean, watch them.
Watching them?
Yeah, when you do your when you record them, right? And everyone who's on Facebook can see them that you're connected with. Is that what
the videos out there?
Yeah, of when you're doing your political videos you just told me about.
Political? I don't know.
You said you do them twice a month?
Oh, those are singing. I started, I've been singing at this coffee house for 22 years. It's around the corner, the Unurban Coffee House.
Oh, okay.
And I sing there the last 2 Sundays of the month, and I have a show that does a lot of ragtime music and old-fashioned music, and it's called Mews and Her Fabulous Females, and I sort of collect a bunch of old actresses and some younger ones and newer ones, but mostly older gals from the neighborhood, and they sing and they do it's kind of interesting, and people have a good time, and we had a packed house last week, so it's just something I think if you want to, you should keep up your skills somewhere, and I like to sing, and I like to boss people around, so I like to do things, and people like it, There's different personalities. They do one song, then somebody else. It's a variety show.
Right. Well, Mews, I thank you so much for coming on to the podcast today. This was just amazing. And yes, likewise, you were a lot of fun, too.
Well, thank you very much. And,
yes.
Well, let me know. Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. And whoever's listening to this, lots of love to all of you. And I think that it's fun that you actually would listen.
And I hope I get to meet you at an autograph show someday.
Oh, yes, that would be good. I'll probably do one sometime again. I'm not sure. I have a manager now. He thinks I should do those, so I'll probably do one.
Okay. You have yourself a great night over there, Mews.
You too. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.